Right now at 5, authorities issue multiple charges against a Joplin man following a domestic situation that required SWAT intervention.
We've got a pretty decent 4th of July shaping up for us across the area. An isolated pop-up storm or two is possible. We'll take a look at that forecast coming up.
And the city of Carthage unveiled plans for a new place to play thanks to a $5 million grant from the McCune Brooks Healthcare Foundation.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Tanya Bach.
I'm Chris Warner. Happy 4th of July to everybody out there, or as the Brits might say, Happy Treason Day.
Ooh.
Every year I see that, I don't know why, it just always strikes me as funny. But, you know, it is what it is. We are here to celebrate our independence, and we've got a pretty decent day ahead of us to do that. And then we've got some thunderstorm chances we've got to keep an eye on. So let's take a look at that forecast real quick. So we dive into this afternoon. A couple of pop-up storms are possible this afternoon. These could be strong, maybe low-grade severe with some small hail, gusty winds. But as you see, these are going to be brief, and they are not going to impact all of us. The majority of us are going to remain mostly clear and hot today with temperatures pushing into the mid-90s. Then we'll go overnight, and we're watching a few rounds of thunderstorms as we head into our Wednesday. So here we are at 4 a.m. We've got this batch of showers and thunderstorms. Some of these could be strong, maybe low-grade severe, and then that sets the stage through the morning for additional thunderstorm development throughout our Wednesday. And as we head into the afternoon hours, we get a little more scattered, but that becomes our better opportunity for some strong to severe thunderstorms. So again, for today, it's a very low risk. Tornado risk is very low, maybe some small hail, possibly some gusty winds in our northern counties with some of these storms. And some of that also applies into our overnight hours tonight with some of those strong storms. Tomorrow, whole area still in an elevated risk for some strong to severe thunderstorms, so we're keeping an eye on that for you. And then even Thursday, we have a low end risk across the entire area, but that's looking to be Thursday morning, maybe some remnant activity from Wednesday's storms. As for fireworks tonight, around 9 o'clock, we're looking at clear skies out there, 86 degrees, an absolutely beautiful evening if you are planning to set off some fireworks and celebrate the 4th tonight. Right now, we're at 68 in Joplin. Humidity is up there as well as the dew point, so a little bit on the muggy side. And as we look at temperatures around the area, not bad. A little cooler Iola, 62, 65 Chanute, 67 Chetopa, Miami, 67 in Neosho. We get our morning started while sunny skies out there going into the mid-80s by late morning. And as we head into the afternoon, time to do some grilling. It's going to be hot. Low to mid-90s, sunny skies, and even into the evening, not bad tonight. Now, these thunderstorm chances, again, overnight tonight, lows in the mid-70s, but ahead of that, an absolutely beautiful and warm evening across the 4 states. We'll have more on your forecast, our storm chances, and what the rest of the week looks like here in a few more minutes. Tanya?
All right, thanks, Chris. A jury finds a man guilty in the 2017 shooting death of a Clinton, Missouri police officer. The jury found 45-year-old Ian McCarthy guilty of first-degree murder. The trial lasted nearly a month, with the state seeking the death penalty. Evidence shows McCarthy shot Officer Gary Lee Michael Jr. during a traffic stop and then left the scene. Officer Michael was a U.S. Army veteran and had served with the Clinton Police Department for less than 1 year. The jury was unable to reach a unanimous decision on McCarthy's sentence. They did agree that a death sentence could be appropriate. The court will decide McCarthy's sentence at a hearing scheduled for September 8th. A Joplin man faces charges after a SWAT team is called in on a domestic disturbance. Donald Smith II is facing charges of domestic assault, robbery, and resisting arrest. The incident started Saturday morning about 11 a.m. when officers arrived at the 2100 block of South Sargent. They saw a man enter the home and refuse to come out. Authorities called in the SWAT team. They were able to get the man to exit and then took him into custody. Police say a firearm was involved in the disturbance. One victim did suffer minor injuries. A Missouri man has died following a drowning incident at the Lake of the Ozarks. According to reports, 56-year-old James Roy from Kansas City was last seen near an anchored vessel. Police say it's unknown how he went into the water. However, he failed to resurface near Bollinger Creek Cove. Roy was later pronounced dead at Mimosa Beach. On Monday, the city of Carthage and the Chamber of Commerce unveiled a new destination playground. It's at the city's municipal park. The new outdoor play area funding was from a $5 million grant from the McCune Brooks Healthcare Foundation. They hope more than just city residents take advantage of the new equipment.
While this is also a benefit to all of our citizens, those that are visiting our community can really take advantage of this beautiful destination that's here at Municipal Park.
That grant the city received will fund projects in each of the city's parks. With dangerous heat recently, people are looking for ways to adapt. The extreme heat can take a toll on firefighters who often spend hours outside in heavy gear putting out fires and treating people who are injured. The Tulsa Fire Department says just like when it's extremely cold, the extreme heat creates a lot of challenges and even health dangers for their crews. Reagan Ledbetter takes a look at what the Tulsa Fire Department is doing to stay healthy.
The Tulsa Fire Department says the extreme cold can affect their gear, like fire hoses, but the blazing summer heat takes a toll on the firefighters themselves.
As we determine, how long the operation is going to be, how extensive it's going to be, we send things like our rehab unit, which is a trailer that carries, electrolyte drinks. It has tents they can set up, allowing the firefighters to have some shade.
Andy Little with Tulsa Fire says crews aren't able to work as long, so they'll be pulled out and another crew is sent in. When a crew is pulled out, they pull off all of their gear to cool down, drink water, then go back in if needed.
When they get tired, the chance of injury goes up, whether it's heat-related illness or just in general, soft tissue injuries. So if we can get those folks cooled down, it keeps them safer, allows them to make more responses throughout the day.
Little says they see people leaving kids, pets, or elderly people in hot cars, which is very dangerous.
The temperature in a car rises very rapidly and can get into dangerous temperatures even at an 80-degree day. Now, when you have a day that the heat index is 108, the temperature in that car can become deadly very, very quickly.
Little says in any kind of extreme weather, they encourage anyone traveling to keep their phone charged and keep plenty of water in their cars. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, the Joplin Outlaws got off to a slow start this season, but much like summertime, they've really heated up. Could they keep up their hot streak against the Griffins? Chris has the answer in sports. Plus, KOAM's Anthony Saviello takes us to Fort Scott, Kansas to sample their 4th of July celebration and get a peek behind the scenes at the work that went into it. And new hope for survival for premature babies comes in the form of an artificial womb. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. More real news in the morning. We'll be right back.
Becoming a new head coach at any school is a daunting task, but walking into a situation where your father was a Hall of Fame head coach is a whole different animal. But that's the reality for Carthage incoming baseball head coach Kevin Berge. After leading McDonald County's program for 4 seasons, he stepped away from coaching for a year, but says he missed being a part of the game of baseball. However, when the opportunity came up to coach in the same spot where his father once did, that was too good of an opportunity to pass up.
He left some pretty big shoes to fill, so that's one thing. But on the other end of it, yeah, my dad was there, but there have been some great coaches here in the past too. So you go back and look at what this program has been built upon by some really, really good guys. I'm scared to list names because I don't want to forget anybody, but it's just one of those things that there have been great baseball coaches here, not just my dad. And so just going back and kind of getting into what those guys have done, it's kind of scary at times, but then you go back and think, hey, these are good guys. I've called a few of them, and they're so supportive, and it's been a really, really good transition.
Meanwhile, the Outlaws hit the field Monday night. A week ago, Joplin was in last place in the Mink League South, but fast forward, and the Outlaws now in first place. Last night, they took on Nevada at Pitt State. The Outlaws have been hot, but Nevada's had their number all season. We're going to pick things up in the top of the 5th. It's a tie game, 2 men on for the Griffins. Sack bunt turns into a disaster for the Outlaws. To get the lead runner. Instead, he scores. More trouble in top of the 7th, 6-5 Nevada. 2 men on, but the 6-4-3 double play by Cole Hill and Corey Syracusa gets Joplin out of the jam. Joplin down 1 until Nixon Brannon, MIAA Freshman of the Year, hammers one deep to left. That would give the Outlaws a 7-6 lead. Now we go to the top of the 9th. Nevada getting down to its final strike. The ground ball to short here, takes a tough bounce. Griffins just wouldn't go away. Ben Lloyd comes around to score and tie the game. That took us to the bottom of the 9th. Brannon up again, gets all of this one, and by the time it lands, the game is over. Walk-off home run for the Pitt State product on his home field. Outlaws stay in first place. Over to pro baseball, Cardinals. Another one last night, this time on the road in Miami. St. Louis looked to be in good position after scoring 4 unanswered runs, but the Marlins go for 2 in the 7th. These two will meet again today in the second of a 4-game series. Same deal with the Royals. They played in Minnesota last night against the first-place Twins. KC stayed in this one for most of it, actually tied it at 3 in the 8th after a Nick Pratto home run, but the Twins answer back with 5 runs of their own to put it away in the bottom of the 8th. Still to come, Saudi Arabia and Russia extend their oil production cuts as demand for oil is down around the world. Plus, we got another check of your 4th of July forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News at 5:16 now on this 4th of July, Tuesday morning. We do have the possibility, as we've been talking about, of an isolated pop-up storm or two this afternoon. As you can see, even in the latest refresh here, that's not even picking up on those right now. So that's some good news. For our 4th of July, we're looking to be pretty darn good. It won't be until overnight tonight that we'll start to see the chances for some strong thunderstorms. So we could see some overnight as this batch rolls through. So these could be strong, low-grade, severe thunderstorms through the morning hours. And then as we head into the afternoon, we're going to start to see more thunderstorm development. And into the afternoon and evening hours is when our better chances of some strong to severe thunderstorms will come into play. And the primary threats with any of these stronger storms as we head into our Wednesday is going to be large hail and damaging wind gusts across the area. So we're still going to have to deal with that. And those could even persist into Thursday morning. So the good news is that also means that our risk that's highlighted for today, and again, understanding our friends down at the Storm Prediction Center, it's actually more so for overnight tonight. So tonight, very low tornado risk. We have a low-end risk for some large hail and a low-end risk for some strong wind gusts out there as we head into the overnight hours. However, we go into tomorrow, same situation as yesterday. Everyone's still highlighted for that elevated risk of strong to severe storms and a low-end risk for everyone as we head into Thursday morning, and that is just because we could have some remnant thunderstorms from Wednesday. All right, for our 4th of July fireworks forecast tonight, if you're heading out there, it's looking good. We've got clear skies, 86 degrees tonight if you're setting anything off, so looking great out there. And as for the rest of today, if you're grilling, we're looking at temperatures pretty hot, low to mid 90s under mostly clear skies. Well, Fort Scott had their big 4th of July fireworks display. KOAM's Anthony Saviello got a behind-the-scenes look at how that show came together.
Everyone knows the feeling of sitting down on the lawn with a cold drink in your family as you watch the bright lights and listen to the loud percussion of 4th of July fireworks. But you may not know about how these shows are put together. I went to Fort Scott Community College to get a behind-the-scenes look into what it takes to put these shows together.
So far for the morning, we started about 9 o'clock. We go through, we bring all the tubes out of the storage container, clean them all out, make sure we have no cones that are left. Begin placing them where we need them to in the sense of our modules are concerned, start getting the inventory ready to start dropping our aerials, and then we will begin to chain the electronic matches to them to get them ready to fire.
Sean told me that the process for a show this size will take up to 12 hours to set up. Time used wisely to make sure that the display not only looks spectacular, but goes off safely as well. But just in case, Sean also has backup.
Fire department, EMS is going to be here in case there are anything that we need them to go ahead and be brought in for. We'd like to take as many precautions as we can ahead of time, trying to think about the A, B, and C's, what happens if this happens or that happens, and making sure that everybody is trained on site of all the safety precautions that they need to partake in.
This year's display is special for Josh Jones, who was able to organize and raise money this year after previous sponsors stepped down.
Got together and we raised, a little over $12,000 in a few months to be able to put this on. It's such a big thing for the community. It's something, my kids are grown now, but it's still, probably 80-90% of the community can enjoy.
Enjoyment that is only possible by the hard work put in by Sean and his team. Reporting in Fort Scott, I'm Anthony Saviello, KOAM News.
And there were also food trucks and activities at the fairgrounds just down the road from the campus. That brings us to our question for you today. How are you going to spend the holiday? Are you going to watch or maybe even shoot off some fireworks, cook on the grill, visit family, and be like us and work? Are you going to do some of those things or maybe all of those things? So we want to hear from you. Make sure you take time to vote through our website, through our app, and take part in the discussion on our Facebook page. We will be back with Health Watch right after this.
The effects are, we know they're not good. Next, Dr. Phil.
Weekdays at 3 on KOAM TV.
Tapping Health Watch this morning, babies are considered extremely premature if they're born at or before 25 weeks of pregnancy. Scientists are testing a new device which acts like an artificial womb, helping underdeveloped fetuses continue growing outside of their mother's body. The test involves animal fetuses at the moment, with the team eyeing clinical trials with humans in the near future. Sue Guzman takes a closer look.
Researchers in Spain have created an artificial womb to help extremely premature babies continue developing outside their mother's body. Because the CDC says many organs like the brain, lungs, and liver are still developing during the final weeks of pregnancy, babies who survive being born very early can face several health challenges growing up, like breathing difficulties, vision and hearing problems, and more.
We are trying to develop a system that allows us to keep a fetus outside its mother, but still in the fetal conditions. That it continues to breathe through the umbilical cord, so we don't force it to breathe through lungs that are not yet fully developed. To feed it through the umbilical cord, to live surrounded by liquid at a constant temperature.
The goal of the artificial womb is to trick the fetus into thinking it's still in a real womb, so it can continue developing and avoiding those health risks.
They could be kept in this system for a few weeks, and then we could reduce very significantly the mortality and the complications that they now present.
Currently, the team in Barcelona is experimenting with premature animal fetuses. Their artificial womb has been shown to keep animal samples alive for 12 days. They hope to begin human trials in the next 2 to 3 years. Sue Guzman, Fox News.
According to the latest data from the World Health Organization, roughly 900,000 extremely premature babies died around the world in 2019 alone. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
And we are watching an absolutely picture-perfect 4th of July across the 4 states. We'll talk more about that forecast when we come back.
Right now at 5:30, the city of Purdy, Missouri lights off its holiday celebration with a community picnic and fireworks display.
And if you've got any fireworks plans for tonight, it is going to be a beautiful day across the 4 states and evening. We'll take a look at that 4th of July forecast coming up.
And Chatters in Pittsburgh gets in on the holiday fun with its own fireworks display and holiday celebration open to the public.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It is now 5:28. I'm Tanya Bach.
I'm Chris Warner. So we've got a beautiful 4th of July out there for us. We were looking at the possibility of an isolated pop-up storm or two, and that's not to say we might not still see one, but those chances are starting to go down. However, we do have incoming severe weather as we head into our Wednesday. So let's take a look at that forecast. As we head into this afternoon, we are looking to be mostly clear and hot. Temperatures low to mid-90s. And again, we could see a stray pop-up storm or two, but this latest update to the future track isn't picking up on any of that at this point. So hopefully hopefully we just get to remain dry out there. We could use a little rain ahead of the fireworks, but nevertheless, it'd be nice to have a great 4th of July, and that's what we're looking at. Now, as we head into tomorrow morning, that's when we're going to start to see the strong thunderstorms rolling into the area. So these could be strong, low-grade severe. So we're talking maybe some small hail and gusty winds as we go into the early morning hours on Wednesday. And then as we go through the rest of our Wednesday, we'll see additional scattered thunderstorms begin to develop as we head through the afternoon. And that's when our better window of some strong, possibly severe thunderstorms is going to be as we head through Wednesday afternoon and into the evening. And some of these could be packing some large hail and some strong damaging wind gusts and could even persist into Thursday morning. So for today, we have a very low tornado risk. And again, this is actually more for overnight tonight because that still counts as day one, according to our weather service friends. There's a low end hail risk and a low end wind risk as we head into early tomorrow morning. And then as we go into Wednesday throughout the day, the entire area is still in an elevated risk for some strong to severe thunderstorms and a low end risk for the entire area as we head into our Thursday morning. Now, if you've got fireworks plans tonight, some great news. We've got a beautiful night ahead of us. Clear skies, 86 by 9. It's going to be wonderful out there, and it's not too bad right now. 7th and Range Line looking good. 68 degrees in Joplin, a little bit on the muggy side out there. Temperatures around the area, they look about like this. We've got 67 Nevada, 66 Fort Scott, 63 Iola and Yates Center, 68 Chitopa, 67 Miami, and 66 in Neosho. As we get our morning started, sunny skies warming up quickly into the mid-80s by late morning. And as we head into the afternoon, if you've got some grilling out there to do, well, it's going to be perfect weather, but make sure you're in the shade because it's going to be toasty and sunny. Mid-90s for our afternoon highs. And as we head into tonight, a great evening again ahead of us, clear skies, and we'll see those thunderstorm chances increase overnight and go back into the mid-70s. Tanya?
That sound signifies when a community picnic with a fireworks display in Purdy, Missouri kicks off. The Terry family has been organizing the display for 8 years now and have had a fireworks stand for 12. North Business 37 is closed to through traffic from Highway C to Washington Street and Berry Avenue.
My husband and I both were raised here and went to school here from K through 12. Our boys were raised here and went to school here, and some of our daughter-in-laws, and of course our grandchildren go here. And we've just been involved in the community all of our lives. That's all we've ever known.
And the community has been so good to offer money, offer labor, whatever it takes to put this show on, and so we're gonna make it a good one tonight, best one ever.
There's also a sign scavenger hunt currently going on through today, and whoever finds a sign gets some free fireworks. Pretty cool. Well, the Joplin Public Library helps to feed area children this summer. Starting this Wednesday, any child under 18 years old is eligible to receive a free sack lunch. Lunches will be handed out Monday through Friday, starting at 11 a.m. in the library's lobby. The library is teaming up with Joplin School District's nutritional services to make it happen.
I think my favorite part of this program is knowing that we're addressing that food insecurity, we're addressing the needs of the community and allowing them to be able to then go out into the library and participate in the programs that we have available at summer reading, or just to participate in being a kid.
Those free lunches are handed out on a first come, first served basis. It's important to note that all meals must be eaten at the library. The program runs through August 11th. Well, safety is important when celebrating the 4th of July. Savannah Harrison shares ways to prevent injuries and when to seek medical help.
And there's always a lot of good food and a lot of good conversation that happens on 4th of July. It's a really fun holiday, but that holiday can take a really bad turn if somebody gets injured.
A warning for families this 4th of July to make sure you're staying safe around fireworks during your celebrations. Doctors say they see many more burns and eye injuries around this time of year.
Absolutely. Lots more. Going to be much more apparent during the couple weeks leading up to and including the 4th and then a day or two after. Really the highest incidence of fireworks injuries.
Experts at Cox Health have some tips on how you can stay safe while you celebrate America. For starters, make sure you're prepared. Have water nearby and ensure everyone is a safe distance away from the fireworks display.
Making sure that your viewing area is at a safe distance, making sure that where you're storing your additional fireworks is at a safe distance, a minimum of 25 feet for standard fireworks.
It's also important to be safe while lighting up the skies. Don't ever put your body or face in the direction fireworks may shoot in, and don't relight fireworks that didn't work.
Give it a lot of time, set it off to the side or scoot it off to the side where it's out of your way, or move where you're shooting off to the side, because that may fire at a later time.
Now, if someone does get hurt by fireworks at your celebration this week, always evaluate the injury. Small burns with just a bit of redness can be treated at home by running soap and water over it, as well as using burn cream and an anti-inflammatory like ibuprofen. Anything worse than a minor burn, especially eye injuries, should be seen at the ER or urgent care by a doctor.
Particularly those injuries that cause significant blistering or bleeding, or any injury to the eye, really needs to seek medical attention to get that evaluated.
Well, doctors also warn against making your own fireworks or shooting more than one off at the same time. They say those cause the majority of injuries seen in the emergency room. Follow directions on the fireworks packaging to have a safe 4th of July. Well, Chatters in Pittsburgh celebrates the 4th of July with a bang. On Monday, the restaurant hosted its annual fireworks display. It's a free event for anyone to come and watch the fireworks. According to Chatters owner Ahmad Inyade, more and more people show up.
So it started with just a little 5-minute show here. We would go around, let everyone know, and we would look and see wheelchairs out and people at the windows and of the hospital just looking out, and it just takes their mind away, for that moment. So it just grew a little bit bigger and bigger.
Chatters in Pittsburgh is located at 2401 South Rouse Street. This morning, we're discussing celebrating the 4th of July.
Now, the holiday marks the anniversary of when the Second Continental Congress adopted the Declaration of Independence in 1776, but we didn't officially sign the holiday into law until 1870. As a federal holiday, most people get the day off to celebrate in many different ways.
Now, shooting off fireworks or watching a fireworks display tends to be the first thing that comes to people's minds. But for many others, the day means firing up the grill, and for others it could mean spending time with family and friends and enjoying the air conditioning.
Well, however you choose to celebrate the day, of course, we want to remind you to enjoy it safely. And from everyone here at KOAM, we do wish you a wonderful 4th of July. And that does bring us to our question for you as well. For those of you that are up this early on the 4th, how are you going to spend the holiday? Are you going to watch or shoot off some fireworks, cook in the grill, visit family, work like we are, or maybe some of those things, all of those things? Well, so far, 51% of you say you're not going to do any of those things. You're just going to stay home and relax. Not a bad idea necessarily.
Interesting.
33% of you are joining Tanya and I in working, and 16% of you are going to do some of those things. So make sure you take time to vote through our website, through our app, and of course take part in the discussion on our Facebook
Mine's
page.
going to be some of the above. Plan to watch, shoot off fireworks, cook on the grill, and well, I'm already working, so I had to mark that one.
Yeah, I'm on that some of the above as well. So.
Unfortunately, most of my family lives 6 hours away, so
not
with the
an
holiday
easy drive.
happening in the middle of the week, it doesn't really allow much for travel time.
Unfortunately, it does not. But hey, hopefully, whatever you do today, make sure you do it safely and you enjoy it.
All right, well, that's a look at our top news stories. Coming up this half hour in the KOAM Morning News, all eyes in the Middle East turn towards the West Bank as the region sees the largest military assault in decades.
And we'll have another look at that 4th of July forecast and how things are shaping up when the KOAM Morning News returns.
Topping World Watch, new clashes hit the Middle East on Monday after Israel launches its largest military assault in the West Bank in decades. Health officials say at least 8 Palestinians are dead and dozens injured. Tina Kraus has the latest from London.
Israel's army hit the West Bank city of Jenin with drone strikes early Monday, then deployed hundreds of ground troops, marking one of the biggest incursions in the area in 20 years. Israel says it targeted a building that served as a command center for Palestinian militants in a city it called a hornet's nest for terrorists.
Our goal is to focus only on the terrorists themselves.
But the Palestinian Authority accuses Israel of committing a new war crime against defenseless people, killing innocent civilians in the community's crowded refugee camp. Gun battles went on after sunrise as Israeli forces pressed ahead with their operation. Israel says it made more than a dozen arrests and dealt a heavy blow to terrorist groups blamed for attacks on Israeli civilians. Palestinian protesters are condemning the violence. Security sources tell Israeli media the fighting could go on for days. Tina Kraus, CBS News.
Israel's incursion into Jenin is the first since 2002 during the second Palestinian uprising. At least 52 Palestinian militants and civilians and 23 Israeli soldiers were killed during 10 days of intense fighting. June this year was hottest on record for the UK. Britain's National Weather Service, the Met Office, said on Monday. The devolved nations of England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland all also reported their respective warmest June on record individually. Hundreds turned out to march in solidarity for a Paris suburb mayor whose house was attacked early on Sunday. Locals and officials are holding up a banner which says, "Together for the Republic." That's after France was rocked by violent riots following the fatal shooting of a teenager in another suburb last week. The scheduled march in support of La Haye Roses mayor Vincent Ginbrun, whose house was attacked by a burning car on Sunday. His address was well known in the community. The mayor's wife was injured as well as one of his children, Mayor Ginbrun had said earlier. He called it an assassination attempt. Demand for oil is down around the world, and that's prompting Saudi Arabia and Russia to keep production cuts in place for at least another month. Anna Stewart explains.
Saudi Arabia's decision to extend an oil output cut isn't surprising, but it is sizable, 1 million barrels per day through August, and adding in Russia's announcement of a cut half that size for the same month, it takes around 1.5% of the world's oil demand off the market for the month of August. Saudi Arabia has already made hefty cuts to its oil output in an effort to bolster prices amid concerns of a global economic slowdown. Now, so far, its efforts haven't really been rewarded. Brent crude is still trading below the $81 a barrel handle, the price point at which Saudi Arabia can balance its budget, according to the IMF. Russia's announcement comes after the OPEC Plus member already agreed to a 500,000 barrel per day cut in March. Given it then produced more oil than it said it would that month and again in April, the market may take a more skeptical view on whether Russia will meet its new target. For Russia, various bans, restrictions, and a G7 oil price cap have already limited how much it can earn from its oil, and that currently trades around $20 less a barrel than Brent crude. So perhaps it has less of an incentive to cut output, but doing so could ease tensions between Russia and Saudi Arabia and maintain unity in OPEC+.
That's a look at some of your biggest headlines from around the world. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 5:46 now on this 4th of July, Tuesday. We were looking at the possibility of a pop-up storm or two this afternoon, but latest updates to the future track don't show them. That's not to say we still couldn't see one or two, but now that they're not showing up, that's a good sign for us as we head through our Tuesday. However, as we head into the overnight hours, we're going to see a batch of strong, maybe low-grade severe thunderstorms come through early tomorrow morning, and that will sink off to the south-southeast across the region and bring us some much-needed rainfall. Then as we go later into our Wednesday through the late morning into the afternoon and even evening hours, we'll see better chances for strong to severe thunderstorms across the area, and these will persist possibly all the way into Thursday early morning as well. So let's take a look at the severe threats. So again, we've talked about how day one really also encompasses the early overnight hours. And so we have a very low tornado risk tonight. We have a low wind risk for some small hail and maybe some damaging wind in our northern counties as this activity moves in overnight tonight. And then as we go through our Wednesday, everybody in an elevated risk for some strong to severe thunderstorms. And then we have that low wind risk for everyone as we head into Thursday morning. As for our fireworks forecast, looking great tonight. We're going to have clear skies, 86 by 9 o'clock, so beautiful weather out there, and a beautiful start to this day as well, as we are sitting at 68 in Joplin. We've got those clear skies overhead, starting to see a little more daylight out there. Temperatures around the region, we got 63 Yates Center, 62 Iola, 64 Parsons, 67 Miami and Neosho, and 68 in Carthage. We get our morning started, sunny skies, mid-80s by late morning. As we head into the afternoon, start doing some grilling, outdoor plans. Make sure you can find some shade, stay hydrated. It's going to be hot, temperatures low to mid-90s and sunny skies, maybe a few passing clouds. Later this evening, we're looking great. We're going to stay clear. We're going to stay warm, mid-70s overnight, and then we'll start to see those thunderstorm chances increase. We're going to go low 90s tomorrow with those thunderstorms, maybe some morning storms Thursday, but this system Wednesday kicks us back into the 80s at least for a few days, with more scattered storms possible Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And as we head into next week, temperatures start to warm back up as we start going low, possibly even mid-90s to kick off the next work week. We'll be back with more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
Well, we have some new faces on KOAM this summer, and you've seen our new sports director, John Dales, on air since the beginning of June. And now, here's a chance to get to know him a little better.
I mean, usually I come in here, put my headphones on, throw a hat on, and kind of just be a fly on the wall, keep to myself.
Keeping a low profile might work in the gym, but not behind a sports desk.
Hey, welcome into sports. I'm John Dales. Missouri
The recent graduate from Syracuse jumped right into the spotlight as KOAM sports director. He grew up in a Chicago suburb with a couple of competitive brothers and is the only one in his family who didn't pursue a career in finance.
My parents have always been super supportive of it. They are my biggest fans for sure. So they love it. Honestly, sometimes I think they love it more than I do.
It took a couple of months following graduation to land his first job. Stressful was the word he used to describe the wait.
More disappointing and a little discouraging, when I would hear people that were doing the same thing as me for 4 years, that they landed the job here or there. But I think that's one of the big parts too, is not necessarily comparing yourself to other people, being confident in who you are and knowing what you bring to the table. So that was part of it, but it was a little bit discouraging, I guess, for a little seeing other people get jobs.
John Dales joins us now, one of the area's best college baseball His confidence and timing came together. KOAM was looking for someone to fill Jacob Leonard's position and meet some high expectations.
I literally had people tell me, they're you have big shoes to fill. We love Jacob and he was great at this job. So I definitely feel that. But it's good too to have a high standard to live up to. As his coach, what's been, I guess, the most impressive part of what he's done?
John's been living up to that standard in his short time here. Pick any sports metaphor, doing the heavy lifting, swinging for the fences, working to give fans what they came to see.
I think what I'm most excited about is covering sports in the area, the passion that people have for local sports. I can tell, even just being here for a month, I can tell it's different here.
As you'd expect, coming from Chicago, he has different team loyalties than most around here.
Yeah, I mean, the Cardinals thing especially is different just because I grew up and the Cubs were not only my number one baseball team, but my number one team growing up I was a huge Cubs fan. So I hated the Cardinals. And then, coming here and having that.
But don't hold that against him. Notice he used the past tense, and he very much appreciates the sports fans in his new home.
I really like the people here. It's been people have been asking me oh, is it much of a culture change? I'm yeah, people are just genuinely friendlier here than, Chicago or New York. So I like that aspect of it.
And he'll be meeting a lot more people as he covers sporting events across the 4 states.
When I got this job, Jacob Leonard, my predecessor, told me he's one of the best things I can tell you to do is to be visible out in the community. So I've really tried to do that a lot.
Except when he's in the gym, where he'll continue to keep a low profile.
On behalf of everyone here at KOAM, we are glad to have John as a part of the team. We'll be right back. Florida Keys celebrated its 200th birthday with none other than a key lime pie. The pie, which measured over 13 feet in diameter, is believed to be the world's biggest key lime pie. It took more than 16 gallons of key lime juice, almost 100 gallons of sweetened condensed milk, and some 125 pounds of graham crackers to make the pie. Festivities mark the 200th anniversary of the establishment of Monroe County, which encompasses the entire Keys Island chain, on July 3rd, 1823. Now, key lime pie has long been identified with the Keys Island chain and its heritage, believed to have originated in Key West in the late 1800s. It was designated Florida's official pie in 2006 by the state legislature. Every time I go to the Florida Keys, I go to the same key lime pie store. Amazing. My favorite. Well, contestants for Nathan's famous 4th of July International Hot Dog Eating Contest gathered for this year's weigh-in on Monday, just ahead of Tuesday's big competition. The annual Independence Day event will bring some of the biggest names in competitive eating to the same table, including Joey Chestnut, the contest's top male champion of all time, and Miki Sudo, the top female champion of all time. They'll join others in gorging on as many hot dogs as they can eat for 10 minutes, all for the honor of Nathan's first place prize, featuring a mustard bedazzled belt, $10,000, and the title of Hot Dog Eating Champ.
We've got ourselves a beautiful 4th of July across the area. We're looking at sunny skies through the morning, warming up quickly into the mid-80s by 11. And as we head into the afternoon, got some outdoor plans. Make sure you stay hydrated or find some shade because it's going to be sunny. It's going to be hot, low to mid-90s for our highs, maybe a few passing clouds. We could see an isolated pop-up storm or two this evening, but I think that overall chance is relatively low. As we go into the evening, though, for fireworks, beautiful forecast tonight, clear skies. Thunderstorms begin moving in overnight. We go back into the mid-70s. Could have some strong to severe thunderstorms throughout our Wednesday and possibly into Thursday morning. Low 90s. We're going to drop back through the 80s with scattered storms up through Saturday, and then by next week we return to the 90s. We'll be back with more right after this.
50. Right now at 6, authorities issue multiple charges against a Joplin man following a domestic situation that required SWAT intervention.
We've got ourselves a nice start to the 4th of July, and we're looking at a pretty decent day ahead of us. We'll look at that forecast and our thunderstorm threat coming up.
And the city of Carthage unveils plans for a new place to play thanks to a $5 million grant from the McCune-Brooks Healthcare Foundation.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. I'm Tanya Bach.
I'm Chris Warner, just after 6 a.m. now on this 4th of July Tuesday, and we've got a pretty decent start to the day, and we've got a pretty decent 4th of July ahead of us. It's going to be a little bit on the hot side, but otherwise not too bad. As we head into the afternoon, we do have that remote possibility. I don't want to set it at 0, but there's the remote possibility of a stray pop-up storm or two this afternoon, but that's very isolated at this point. Not to say we won't see one, but the chances are relatively low. As we head into the evening, though, looking pretty good. We'll take a look at that in a moment. However, we have thunderstorms. As we head into early tomorrow morning, some of these could be strong, low-grade severe, with some strong winds and some small hail out there as they roll through early tomorrow morning. And then after they move on out of here by late morning, we'll see additional thunderstorm development across the area through the afternoon and into the evening hours. And that's when our better chances for some strong to severe thunderstorms will pick up as we head again into the afternoon and evening hours on our Wednesday. So let's take a look. As we head overnight, very low tornado risk, but you can see we've got a low end risk for some small hail overnight and then maybe some gusty winds. And as we head into our Wednesday, everybody in that elevated risk area for some strong to severe storms. And then we have that low end risk for everybody Thursday, but that's going to be primarily Thursday morning with any remnant storms from Wednesday. For the 4th of July tonight, setting off fireworks by 9. We're looking great. Clear skies, temperatures in the mid 80s this evening. So a great night ahead of us. Beautiful sunrise out there. Great start to the day. 68 in Joplin right now. Humidity dew point both up there a bit, so a bit muggy, but not bad. Got 63 Iola Yates Center, 64 Neodesha Parsons Chanute, 67 Miami Carthage, and 66 Neosho Lamar and Nevada. As we get our morning started, we're going to be sunny. We're going to warm up quickly. We're going into the mid 80s by late morning. As we head into the afternoon, if you've got some outdoor grilling plans or any other outdoor plans, stay hydrated. Find some shade if you can. Sunny, maybe a few passing clouds. Highs today low to mid 90s. 70s. And again, for the evening, a great evening ahead of us. We stay warm, we stay clear, and then overnight mid-70s with those increasing thunderstorm chances. We'll have another look at your full forecast here in a few more minutes. Tanya?
All right, thanks, Chris. A Joplin man faces charges after a SWAT team is called in on a domestic disturbance. Donald Smith II is facing charges of domestic assault, robbery, and resisting arrest. The incident started Saturday morning about 11 a.m. when officers arrived at the 2100 block of South Sargent. They saw a man enter the home and refuse to come out. Authorities called in the SWAT team and they were able to get the man to exit and then took him into custody. Police say a firearm was involved in the disturbance. One victim did suffer minor injuries. A jury finds a man guilty in the 2017 shooting death of a Clinton, Missouri police officer. The jury found 45-year-old Ian McCarthy guilty of first-degree murder. The trial lasted nearly a month, with the state seeking the death penalty. Evidence shows McCarthy shot Officer Gary Lee Michael Jr. during a traffic stop and then left the scene. Officer Michael was a U.S. Army veteran and had served with the Clinton Police Department for less than 1 year. The jury was unable to reach a unanimous decision on McCarthy's sentence. They did agree that a death sentence could be appropriate. The court will decide McCarthy's sentence at a hearing scheduled for September 8th. Missouri man has died following a drowning incident at the Lake of the Ozarks. According to reports, 56-year-old James Roy from Kansas City was last seen near an anchored vessel. Police say it's unknown how he went into the water. However, he failed to resurface near Bollinger Creek Cove. Roy was later pronounced dead at Mimosa Beach. Well, this 4th of July, travelers are bracing for more possible flight disruptions with severe weather continuing to roll through parts of the country. Already more than 400 flights have been delayed or canceled in the U.S. That's according to FlightAware, with record-breaking travel volume expected. Naomi Ruckham has more.
Frustrated travelers are still reeling from flight delays and cancellations this 4th of July.
I'm really overwhelmed. This is too much. I just want to get to Los Angeles.
Severe weather and staffing shortages caused thousands of flight cancellations and delays over the past 10 days, upending travel plans for millions. Today, more storms are expected to move through the Northeast and the Plains, which could cause even more disruptions.
I'm hoping that I traveled the right time here, and I'm hoping that going back is the right time as well.
United Airlines says it has dished out 30,000 flyer miles to customers whose flights were canceled or delayed last week. It comes as AAA predicts more than 4 million Americans will take to the skies this July 4th holiday. Though the bulk of travelers, more than 43 million, will hit the highways.
Slow down and allow extra time to get to wherever you're going to.
One added perk at the pump this Independence Day, AAA says drivers will pay over $1 less for a gallon of gas in many parts of the country compared to this time last year. Naomi Ruckham, CBS News.
Well, if you're hitting the road today for July 4th celebrations, AAA says the busiest times to travel are between noon and 3 p.m. On Monday, the City of Carthage and the Chamber of Commerce unveiled a new destination playground. It's at the city's municipal park. The new outdoors play area funding was from a $5 million grant from the McCune Brooks Healthcare Foundation. They hope more than just city residents take advantage of the new equipment.
Absolutely, when those that are visiting here and living here can actually see amenities like this throughout our community, and just in the progression of more to come in our Parks Department will just only enhance and bring that quality of life to all of those that are visiting Carthage.
That grant the city received will fund projects in each of the city's parks. Well, Chatters in Pittsburgh last night celebrated the 4th of July with a bang. On Monday, the restaurant hosted its annual fireworks display. It's a free event for anyone to come and watch the fireworks, and Chatters owner Ahmad Inyade encouraged everyone to come out.
Just get out, get off streaming, get off Snapchat. I mean, yes, I'm on social media all the time, but at least I still come out and see you in person. That's what we need.
Chatters in Pittsburgh is located at 2401 South Rouse Street. To be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports, you can download the KOAM News app. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for the KOAM News app. That's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, holiday travel road is a little bumpy this year.
There's more travel trouble for those heading home this 4th of July. I'm Naomi Ruckham with a look at the delays still haunting some flyers and a hint of good news at the gas pump.
Plus, sparklers look fun, but they can burn at 1,200 degrees, which means a clear danger for young hands. We've got ways to keep those young hands out of danger this holiday. And Chris has another look at your forecast and if it'll be too cloudy tonight to see any fireworks. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. More real news in the morning. We'll be right back.
EMC located in the heart of
Neosho Square. Topping Nation Watch this morning, a wildfire now burning in Madera County, California started after a tractor crash that killed a man on Monday. Authorities say the 65-year-old man crashed in tall grass on his property when the brakes on his tractor failed. So far, the Whiskey fire is 15% contained and has burned nearly 50 acres, leading to evacuation orders, warnings, and roadblocks. Florida man and a dozen undocumented migrants are in custody in Texas after a chase involving a big rig. Monday, the Texas Department of Public Safety posted this video of the high-speed pursuit in LaSalle County. DPS reports Eduardo Aradas was behind the wheel of the truck last Tuesday when authorities tried to pull him over on Highway 35 for a traffic violation. According to officials, Aradas refused to stop and instead picked up speed. DPS pursued the vehicle, noting speeds reaching 85 miles per hour at one point, and the truck started traveling on the wrong side of the highway. Eventually, they say the truck went off the road and the driver, as well as several migrants, bailed out. He now faces state criminal charges for smuggling and evading. Dramatic video shows a Georgia deputy pulling a driver from a burning car. This about an hour west of Savannah in Candler County. The deputy was responding to reports of a car crash when he spotted the burning car in the woods. You can see the deputy working to break the window, then pulling the person to safety just as the flames engulfed the car. Right now, it's unclear what led to the crash. Wow. Well, at least 5 people were killed and 2 children injured in a shooting in Philadelphia Monday night. It's the latest of 3 mass shootings over the long 4th of July weekend. Naomi Ruckham has the latest on the investigations into these shootings.
It is a violent start to Independence Day in America. Late Monday, a shooting claimed several lives in a Philadelphia neighborhood. Police say a gunman in a bulletproof vest shot at random over multiple city blocks.
As they were scooping up the victims and preparing them for transport to the hospital, they also heard multiple gunshots up the street.
Police chased the man into an alley where he eventually surrendered. 2 boys were also injured, a 13-year-old and a 2-year-old. Both are in stable condition.
We're canvassing the area to get as much as we can to identify witnesses, to identify where cameras are located, and do everything that we can to figure out the why behind this happening.
The shooting comes just one day after gunfire rang out at an annual holiday cookout in Baltimore. 2 people were killed and dozens were wounded, most of them teenagers. Police suspect there were multiple shooters, and the FBI is now offering a $28,000 reward for information that leads to the suspects.
We won't stop until we find those responsible and hold them accountable. We won't.
And in Kansas over the weekend, a shooting at a busy nightclub. 9 people were shot and 2 others trampled while rushing from the scene.
We need to take a very strong stance in response to what occurred because, in my estimation, I believe it was totally preventable.
Scenes of gun violence across the country now tainting what's meant to be a day of celebration. Naomi Ruckham, CBS News.
So far in 2023, America has seen the highest number of mass killings and deaths on record up to this point. Let's look at some of today's top national stories. Here's Chris with a look at your forecast.
Yeah, we've got ourselves a great 4th of July ahead of us. It's going to be a bit on the hot side, but we're looking at clear skies, maybe a pop-up storm or 2. We're going to take a complete look at your forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns.
Appliances and
this Thursday from 11 to 1.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. 6:17 now on this 4th of July, Tuesday across the 4 states. And we've got a great start out there. We've got a pretty decent day ahead of us, too, even though it's going to be a bit on the hot side. We still have the possibility of a stray pop-up storm or two as we head into the afternoon and early evening. I think that overall chance is extremely low, but we don't want to rule that out completely. We're otherwise going to be clear. We're going to be hot out there, and we won't actually deal with a real significant thunderstorm threat until we head into the overnight hours tonight. So we go early morning Wednesday. We could see some strong thunderstorms, maybe low-grade severe with some hail and winds out there, strong winds out there, and that's going to roll through early on our Wednesday morning. And once that pushes through by about, say 9, 10 o'clock, we'll start to see additional scattered thunderstorm development throughout our Wednesday through the late morning into the afternoon and even into the evening hours. And as this continues, this is going to be our best window for some strong, possibly severe thunderstorms across the area. But you can see they're scattered. They're everywhere. We're not looking at just a line coming through or anything like that. We'll just have these scattered storms throughout our Wednesday, and they could even persist into very early on Thursday morning across the area as well. So for today, which is technically overnight tonight, with very low tornado risk, no areas highlighted. Tomorrow morning, we're talking very early morning, we have a low end risk for some large hail and possibly some strong winds as we head into the early morning hours on Wednesday. And then as we go through the rest of the day on our Wednesday, everybody into that elevated risk for some strong to severe thunderstorms across the region. And then that continues as a lower end risk as we head into Thursday morning across the area before these storms clear out. Now, as for the 4th of July, we're looking pretty good out there. By about 9 o'clock tonight, we're looking at clear skies, temperatures right around the mid-80s, so great weather to get out there and set off those fireworks and celebrate America's independence. And we're starting the day pretty nice as well. Great sunrise here from our camera at 7th and Range Line. We're sitting at 68. Dew point's up at 64, humidity 87%. So again, it's a bit on the muggy side this morning, as it has been the last several mornings. We got 63s, Yates Center, Iola, 64, Chanute, Neodesha, Parsons, 66 in Pittsburgh and Lamar, and 67 Miami and Carthage. As we get our morning started, again, sunny skies out there, maybe a passing cloud or two. We're going to go mid-80s by 11 heading into this afternoon. If you're doing any grilling or anything else outdoors, make sure you're finding shade as you can. And, of course, stay hydrated out there because it's still going to be hot. We're talking low to mid-90s across the region. Again, mostly sunny skies, except for the occasional passing cloud or two. That's going to be the same case as we go through the evening. We stay warm, we stay clear. It's going to be a great evening out there. And then overnight is when we'll see those thunderstorm chances increase, and we're going to see temperatures tonight back into the mid-70s across the area. So again, we've got the evening isolated pop-up storm or two possible. The latest updates on the future track seem to suggest that that's not going to happen. But again, we don't want to rule that out, but shouldn't really have any impact on any 4th of July plans tonight. Those scattered strong to severe thunderstorms start moving in early tomorrow morning, and they will last with us throughout our Wednesday and again into early Thursday morning. We're going to go low 90s in between the storms for us on Wednesday. Now, the one nice thing after this system is it gives us a brief break from the 90-degree temperatures. Look at this, only 83 on Thursday, 85 on Friday. And you see, we do start to warm up. We go 88 by Saturday. We still have the possibility of a few scattered thunderstorms as we head into the first half of the weekend. Then we transition to next week, and temperatures really begin to warm back up. We start going low, maybe even mid-90s. A few more thunderstorm chances out there, so some more much-needed rain on the way with some partly cloudy skies in between. That's Check Your Forecast. We'll be back with Health Watch right after this.
Water damage to your Miami and Grove. Integris Health, partnering with people to live healthier lives.
Topping Health Watch this morning, maternal mortality, meaning death during or up to 1 year after pregnancy, more than doubled in the U.S. between 1999 and 2019. And that's according to researchers at the University of Washington and Mass General Brigham, who looked at data by state and among racial or ethnic groups. The study found the South had high mortality rates across all regions, while Black women had the highest rate for maternal mortality and overall ethnic and racial groups. The largest increase was seen in American Indian and Alaskan Native populations. A study from the University of Massachusetts finds COVID rapid tests were most effective when patients with no symptoms tested 3 times at 48-hour intervals, and when those with symptoms tested twice, 2 days apart. Researchers found false positives from the test were low, But for those with initial negative results, they recommend using caution in public if they suspect they may have been infected or exposed. New research shows changes in state medical cannabis laws are not reducing the use of opioid or non-opioid treatments for chronic pain. Study from Weill Cornell Medicine in New York City examined insurance claims in states that allow the use of medical cannabis compared to those that do not. It found no substantial difference in the proportion of patients receiving pain medications or procedures. The 4th of July is here, and the celebrations often include fireworks for children. That often means waving sparklers in the air. But as Bradley Blackburn tells us, the dangers of sparklers are real, and they should be kept away from kids.
They're fun and fascinating to look at, a 4th of July favorite for many children. But as this demonstration shows, sparklers burn fast and hot.
Sparklers look great, but they're actually extremely dangerous because they do burn at 2,000 degrees, which is as hot as a blowtorch.
New data from the Consumer Product Safety Commission finds sparklers were associated with an estimated 600 emergency department treated injuries last year.
And it is the #1 cause of injury for children under 5 when it comes to fireworks. And some of the burns that we've seen have been horrific. And so it's really important to keep them out of the hands of children. Any fireworks, but particularly sparklers.
A Mott poll conducted last year shows 63% of parents of children ages 6 to 10 and 38% of parents of children 3 to 5 have celebrations that include sparklers. If you're going to let children use them, experts caution it's critical to teach kids to hold the sparkler an arm's length away. Also, consider a child's age and maturity, including their ability to follow rules. There are ways to keep the spark alive safely so everyone can enjoy the 4th without getting hurt. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
Well, if you're going to use sparklers, it's also important to only light one at a time. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
Yeah, we've got ourselves a beautiful 4th of July ahead of us. We're going to be hot. We're going to be sunny. Great weather for setting off fireworks. And then as we head into our Wednesday, Mother Nature's got some fireworks of her own to set off. We'll talk about that full forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns.
Destination.
Right now it's 6:30. The city of Purdy, Missouri lights off its holiday celebration with a community picnic and fireworks display.
We've got ourselves a beautiful 4th of July across the area, but Mother Nature has her own fireworks to set off as we head into Wednesday. We'll take a look at that forecast coming up.
And Chatters in Pittsburgh gets in on the holiday fun with its own fireworks display and holiday celebration open to the public.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's now 6:29. I'm Tanya Bach.
I'm Chris Warner. So we've got a pretty decent start to our 4th of July out there. We've got some clear skies, a little bit muggy, but temperature's not too bad. And we've got a hot but clear day ahead of us for the 4th, and we've got some big changes once we head into the overnight hours tonight. So let's take a look down the road. And as we head into the afternoon, the future track is not showing this anymore, but I still think there's the possibility of a stray pop-up storm or two as we head into the afternoon. Again, it's going to be very isolated, very brief, but we don't want to rule that out completely. But for the rest of the day, honestly, the majority of the day and into the evening, we're looking pretty good. It's tomorrow early morning that we're going to start to see some strong, possibly low-grade severe thunderstorms roll into the area. This is about 4 a.m. They'll start up here, say around Yates Center or so, moving in around 2. And these will kind of sweep through as we go through the morning hours on our Wednesday. And then following this, and they'll exit about 9, 10 o'clock, we're going to see additional scattered thunderstorm development continue through the afternoon and into the evening hours and even into the overnight hours on Wednesday. And some of these storms could be strong, possibly severe across the area as we head through our Wednesday and into early Thursday morning. So for the overnight tonight, our tornado threat very low. We do have a low end risk for some small hail and possibly some gusty winds as we go overnight. And then we head into our Wednesday and we've got everybody in that elevated risk for some strong to severe thunderstorms. And then a low end risk as we go into Thursday morning with any remnant storms from Wednesday. Now as for this evening, setting off fireworks, great evening out there. We're by By 9, mostly clear skies, sitting about the mid-80s out there. So a great evening out there for the 4 states. And a great start this morning. Great sunrise out there. Sitting at 68 in Joplin. A couple of passing clouds here and there. And that'll be the case throughout the majority of our day. Got 67 Lamar, 65 Pittsburgh, 67 Chautauqua, 65 Miami, and 66 in Neosho. As we get our morning started, again, sunny skies, maybe a passing cloud or two, mid-80s by 11. And if you've got any outdoor plans this afternoon, grilling, whatever you may be doing, make sure that you're staying hydrated and finding shade as you can, because it's going to be sunny and it's going to be hot. Temperatures into the mid-90s. And as we go into the evening, again, great evening ahead of us, warm. Overnight lows mid-70s, and then after about 2 a.m., we'll start to see those scattered showers and thunderstorms move into the area. Tanya?
All right, thanks, Chris. Well, that sound... That sound signifies when a community picnic with a fireworks display in Purdy, Missouri kicks off. The Terry family has been organizing the display for 8 years now and has had a fireworks stand for 12. North Business 37 is closed to traffic from Highway C to Washington Street, or it was last night anyway, and Berry Avenue.
No doubt the culmination of our entire labor effort is the fireworks show at dark. To see this little town packed with every street lined with people sitting in blankets, sitting in the back of a truck, just watching the fireworks show is such a blessing, and it's the main reason that we do it. It's the culmination of everything that we do.
There's also a sign scavenger hunt currently going on through today. All you have to do is find the Terry family fireworks sign, and whoever finds the sign gets some free fireworks. The Joplin Public Library helps to keep area children fed this summer. Starting this Wednesday, that's tomorrow, any child under 18 years old is eligible to receive a free sack lunch. Lunches will be handed out Monday through Friday starting at 11 a.m. in the library's lobby. The library is teaming up with Joplin School District's nutritional services to make it happen.
It's any kid under the age of 18, so even if they're not school age, if you're 4 or 3 or something, you can come in and you'll get a brown paper bag lunch. And the thing is, you have to eat it here on site, and it will actually be available over here in our convenience area.
Those free lunches are handed out on a first come, first serve basis. The program runs through August 11th. Well, Fort Scott had its big 4th of July fireworks display, and KOAM's Anthony Saviello got a behind-the-scenes look into how this show came together.
Everyone knows the feeling of sitting down on the lawn with a cold drink in your family as you watch the bright lights and listen to the loud percussion of 4th of July fireworks. But you may not know about how these shows are put together. I went to Fort Scott Community College to get a behind-the-scenes look into what it takes to put these shows together.
So far for the morning, we started about 9 o'clock. We go through, we bring all the tubes out of the storage container, clean them all out, make sure we have no cones that are left, begin placing them where we need them to in the sense of our modules are concerned, start getting the inventory ready to start dropping our aerials, and then we will begin to chain the electronic matches to them to get them ready to fire.
Sean told me that the process for a show this size will take up to 12 hours to set up. Time used wisely to make sure that the display not only looks spectacular, but goes off safely as well. But just in case, Sean also has backup.
Fire department, EMS is going to be here in case there are anything that we need them to go ahead and be brought in for. We'd like to take as many precautions as we can ahead of time, trying to think about the A, B, and C's, what happens if this happens or that happens, and making sure that everybody is trained on site of all the safety precautions that they need to partake in.
This year's display is special for Josh Jones, who was able to organize and raise money this year after previous sponsors stepped down.
Got together and we raised, a little over $12,000 in a few months to be able to put this on. It's such a big thing for the community. It's something, my kids are grown now, but it's still, probably 80-90% of the community can enjoy.
Enjoyment that is only possible by the hard work put in by Sean and his team. Reporting in Fort Scott, I'm Anthony Saviello, KOAM News.
Now, there were also food trucks and activities at the fairgrounds just down the road from campus. And that brings us to our question for you this morning. How are you going to spend the holiday? Are you going to watch or shoot off some fireworks, cook on the grill, visit family, work? Maybe some of those things, maybe all of those things. whichever it may be. We want to hear from you. And so far, 16% of you say you are going to watch or shoot off some fireworks. 26% of you say you're going to do some of those things. Another 26% of you say you're going to do all of those things. 16% of you say you'll visit some family. 8% of you are going to work, and another 8% of you are going to cook on the grill. We are in that 8% of working, but I guess we're more in that 26% of some of the above because we obviously aren't working tonight.
I know, yeah. We'll be off way before the fireworks really get going, so.
We'll probably be asleep before the fireworks get going as well. But either way, make sure you take time to go through our website, through our app, and take part in discussion on our Facebook page.
Just don't judge us tomorrow morning if we're very tired. Right. All right, that's a look at our top news stories. Coming up this half hour in the KOAM Morning News, how one rockin' brand name keeps a solid fan base.
The Hard Rock brand drives loyalty and travel. I'm Wendy Gillette in New York. I'll show you the newest edition.
Plus, we've got ourselves a great 4th of July forecast, albeit hot, with thunderstorm chances tomorrow. Take a look at that forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns.
Cattle meat store in Joplin, Missouri.
And Consumer Watch this morning, happy 4th of July. Today, 87% of Americans are celebrating our nation's birthday. According to the National Retail Federation, more than half of Americans say they will mark the holiday with a cookout, with total spending on food items predicted to hit $9.5 billion. Well, hundreds of retailers are offering big sales and promotions for the July 4th holiday. Today, Sheetz customers can pay a $1.776 a gallon for regular, mid-grade, and premium gas, although that does not include diesel fuel. The price honors the year the country declared its independence from Great Britain. Sheetz has more than 600 locations in the Mid-Atlantic and Midwest. Well, the Internal Revenue Service is warning taxpayers to be on alert for a new tax refund scam. Agency says the scam involves a mailing coming in a cardboard envelope from a delivery service, and the letter inside includes the IRS masthead. The wording on the letter says it is, quote, in relation to your unclaimed refund, and includes contact information and a phone number that does not belong to the IRS. It also asks for personal information, including a picture of your driver's license and bank routing information. The agency says it contains red flags that mark it as a scam, including strange wording, odd punctuation, a mixture of fonts, and inaccurate information on tax return deadlines. Just a reminder, the IRS will never contact you via email, text, or through social media. Thousands of hotel workers in Southern California are on strike over demands for higher pay and better health care and retirement benefits. The Unite Here Local 11 union has been trying to negotiate a new contract since April with a group of dozens of Los Angeles and Orange County hotels. The old contract expired over the weekend. The hotel group says it is available to continue negotiations and that non-union staff will keep facilities running for now. Brand loyalty is what every hotel company wants to generate with its customers. Hard Rock has been growing its fan base for decades. Wendy Gillette reports on its popularity.
Hard Rock knows how to strike a chord, one that fills cafes and hotels across the world with groupies of its own, including Lou Nuccio from Bayonne, New Jersey.
It's really the social aspect of it. I have met some of my best friends as of late, through Hard Rock, meeting them, talking to them, finding out about their lives, visiting them.
Nuccio runs an international Facebook fan page and has assembled an epic Hard Rock pin collection.
Last count, I was somewhere under 10,000.
His devotion to Hard Rock is its own world tour. He's hit more than 100 Hard Rock locations, including the original cafe in London, which opened in 1971.
You get to walk into this place that has so much history, so much rock and roll history, and speak to some of the people who've been there from day one.
Hard Rock has its name on more than 200 hotels, restaurants, and casinos across the world. This is the newest right here in the heart of Times Square, Hard Rock Hotel, New York. Inside, guests find the Yankees-themed steakhouse NYY. a rooftop terrace with expansive views of the city, and 36 floors sprinkled with rock and roll history.
This hotel takes all of the memorabilia that's New York centric.
We also visited Hard Rock Hotel Maldives for a special rate. Brand loyalty brings guests all the way to the Indian Ocean.
We had guests traveling from Argentina to Dubai to here, just to buy the Hard Rock t-shirts.
Some rooms feature private pools, record players, and a Fender guitar to strum. But the true splurge is the Rockstar Villa, with a pool, tuk-tuk bar, and jukebox to keep the party rocking all night long. Wendy Gillette, CBS News.
Hard Rock has a loyalty program called Unity, which earns points for spending at its hotels, cafes, stores, and casinos. That's it for Consumer Watch. Here's Chris with another look at your forecast.
Yeah, we've got a great day shaping up for us on this 4th of July. There might be a stray pop-up storm or two, but I think the majority of us will remain dry. And then we've got thunderstorm chances increasing as we head into the overnight and into our Wednesday. We'll talk about all that in your full forecast coming up. And what better way to celebrate America's independence than with our daily celebration of birthdays and anniversaries, the holiday edition. Well, they're coming up after the break. But before we do any of that, why don't we take a look at what's happening on CBS Mornings?
I'm Anne-Marie Green. Coming up on CBS Mornings, we are celebrating the 4th of July with a look at the history of the American flag that inspired the Star-Spangled Banner and why it's still a symbol of democracy today. That's coming up on CBS Mornings.
U.S. Cellular, built for us.
All right, time for some of those 4th of July birthdays, and we're going to begin in Carl Junction with Wyatt Norfelice, celebrating birthday number 6 today with happy birthday wishes coming from your family.
And we've got Anderson Carr turning 14 today in Moran, Kansas, with love from Mom, Dad, and Ainsley.
And Skylar Carnall celebrating birthday number 18 in Erie. Happy birthday, Skylar.
Nathan Thomas celebrating birthday number 24 this year. Hope it's a great one.
And Shauna York celebrating birthday number 50 in Pittsburgh. Happy birthday, Shauna.
Greg Locke is 52 this year in Chanute with his favorite and only big sister Jennifer in this picture.
And we've got David Combs over in Columbus celebrating another year wiser. Happy birthday, David.
Linda Jeffrey in Columbus. Hope you have a wonderful birthday.
And the party is in the bus as we've got Randy Bass celebrating number 67 in Columbus. Happy birthday.
All right, and it's a celebration for the Wallace family up in Fort Scott. Patricia Wallace turning 71 years old today.
And Patricia and Archie are also celebrating their 23rd wedding anniversary. So a very happy birthday to Patricia and a happy anniversary to the both of them.
And over in Lamar, Missouri, Marlene Cox, happy birthday number 80 this year.
And our list goes on with Indigo Nelson celebrating a birthday in Columbus. Happy birthday.
And Cliff and Carol Medley celebrating 58 years together. Congratulations to the Medleys.
And Tommy Butteroff celebrating number 76, our neighbor in Crestline.
All right, and finally, last but certainly not least on our list today, in Carterville, Wally Ball, happy birthday.
All right, that was a great birthday list. A few more pictures. We still want more, Tanya. Where do they need to send them?
All they have to do is email us their birthday and anniversary information to this one address, birthdays with an S at KOAMnewsnow.com.
And of course, while you're on our website checking out the latest news, weather, and sports, make sure you take time to check out the KOAM Birthday Club. You get great deals from local businesses. You also get a special birthday message from your friends here at KOAM. So head on over to KOAMnewsnow.com and sign up for that birthday club today. All right, we got a lot of weather to talk about. The good news is not so much weather for us today other than hot and sunny out there. We could still see a stray isolated pop-up storm or two as we head into the afternoon hours, but I think the majority of us are going to remain dry, sunny, hot, maybe a few passing clouds, but otherwise not a bad 4th of July for us, even as we head into the evening. But then we go overnight, about 2 a.m. or so, we're going to see a line of some strong, maybe low-grade severe thunderstorms roll through. Here we are at 4 a.m. a.m. from Fort Scott back toward Parsons, Fredonia, and Chanute. And this will continue to move on off to the southeast as we go through the morning on Wednesday. And then about 10 o'clock or so, it starts to push out. And then by 11, we see additional scattered thunderstorm development out there. And as we head into the afternoon, evening, and even overnight on Wednesday, we'll have scattered thunderstorms throughout the day. And some of these could be strong, possibly severe, with wind and hail being the primary threats with any of these storms that we see through our Wednesday and into early Thursday morning. So for tonight, very low tornado risk. We do have a low end risk for some small hail and possibly some strong winds as we go overnight tonight with that first batch of storms. And then we head into our Wednesday and we've got the elevated risk for strong to severe thunderstorms across the entire area. And that carries into Thursday morning as a low end risk for the entire area as those storms begin to exit. In terms of setting off fireworks tonight, great weather to do so. By 9 o'clock, we're sitting with clear skies, mid-80s out there, so a beautiful night ahead of us, or at least a beautiful evening before we get storm chances. Great sunrise, 7th and range line in Joplin, a couple of passing clouds, otherwise clear skies, 68 right now. Temperatures around the area, well, they look about like this. 66 in Fort Scott, 63 Iola, 64 in Chanute, Neodesha, Parsons, 68 Chetopa, 67 Miami, and 66 down in Neosho as we get our day started. We get our morning started. We're going to be sunny. Again, maybe a couple of passing clouds. Temperatures warming quickly into the mid-80s. And then if you've got any outdoor plans for today, like grilling, for example, you want to make sure that you're staying hydrated and find shade and cool off when you can because it's still going to be hot. We're talking highs today, low to mid-90s out there, and only a few passing clouds, so not a lot of relief from the sun today. For the evening, as we mentioned, for fireworks, it's going to be warm, it's going to be clear, it's going to be a great evening to do things outdoors, and then we'll go overnight. We're going to be mild, back into the mid-70s, but we'll start to see those thunderstorm chances work in, say, around about 2 o'clock tomorrow morning. As we mentioned, those will persist through our Wednesday. We're looking at low 90s on Wednesday, and then at least in between the storms, but this system is going to cool us down, at least temporarily, back through the 80s. We'll have some additional scattered storm chances Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Temperatures slowly start to warm. We go back to the 90s Sunday and Monday as we kick off the next work week, and we'll hold out for the most part in the low 90s with additional storm chances next Tuesday and Thursday. Let's check your forecast. We're back with more right after this.
Is branch of four-state hero.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. The Joplin Public Library helps to feed area children this summer. Starting this Wednesday, any child under 18 years old is eligible to receive a free sack lunch. Lunches will be handed out Monday through Friday, starting at 11 a.m. in the library's lobby. The library is teaming up with Joplin School District's nutritional services to make it happen. That sound signifies when a community picnic with a fireworks display in Purdy, Missouri kicks off. The Terry family has been organizing the display for 8 years now and has had a fireworks stand for 12. North of Business 37 was closed to traffic from Highway C to Washington Street and Berry Avenue. Fort Scott held its annual July 4th fireworks show at the Fort Scott Community College last night. KOAM got an inside look into what the process is like to set up these explosive shows and how important it is to have these shows in the community. And Chandler's in Pittsburgh celebrates the 4th of July with a bang. On Monday, the restaurant hosted its annual fireworks display. It is a free event for anyone to come and watch the fireworks, and Chatter's owner, Ahmad Inyade, encouraged everyone to show up. That's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
We've got ourselves a hot day for this 4th of July, great for grilling or any outdoors activities. Maybe a few passing clouds, low to mid-90s, so make sure you're staying hydrated. For fireworks tonight, clear skies, warm. It's going to be great out there. Mid-70s overnight, and thunderstorm chances increase starting about 2 a.m. Scattered strong to severe thunderstorms through our Wednesday, low 90s, a little cooler Thursday. Storms Thursday, Friday, Saturday, warming up by next week.
Well, coming up today at noon, we're making pesto steak kebabs in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
Sounds pretty good. And your morning news continues on KOAM with CBS Mornings. And the race for the 2024 presidential election is heating up. Coming up on CBS Mornings, Democratic strategist Joel Payne and Republican strategist Leslie Sanchez discuss the latest in the Republican field and the impacts of the recent SCOTUS rulings on voters.
Or you can switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues. And this morning, Charlene Patton from the Kansas Soybean Commission is helping us celebrate the holiday with a festive recipe for red, white, and blue meringues.
Plus, we're going to take a look at a new documentary that examines YouTube's impact on society. That's going to wrap it up for us for now. We will see you back here tomorrow morning at 5 a.m.
And we're going to do it again today at noon.